All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Living the Dream podcast. Today we have Scott Smith on the show, and he's the founder and CEO of Royal Legal Solutions. Scott, how you doing?
Yeah, doing great. Really great to be here with you today and share some with the brief things that I've learned from being an entrepreneur and an attorney and a transmission and auto repair owner and high stakes adventurer out here in southern Utah now. So I'm an open book for anything you want to know from my experience about what it's like to build businesses and just have the most fun you possibly can in life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that last part is so important, having the most fun you can possibly have in life, because if you're miserable and you're building all this success, what's it worth, you know?
I think through it a little differently. I actually think that these are two systems that fuel each other, and people don't view it that way. More fun that I have, the more energy and the better state of being I have that I come into my business, into the people that are important to me in my life, my leadership team. And at the levels of the game that I've gone up, it goes beyond the spreadsheets, man. It's about what's the energy and the vibe and the excitement levels. And that's what it all targets. So for me, having fun is absolutely essential. The more fun I have, the more money I make. And that's the equation I use.
Yeah, no, I love that, especially because I'm gonna be blunt. I'm 22, I'm not in the best financial position right now. And it's hard for me to imagine playing on that level sometimes of I'm doing the things that give me energy and I'm impacting others. And that's my focus more than the dollar signs. So I'm excited to hear about it.
Go indirect, man, because think about it. Whatever gets your energy into a peak state of being, that's the most powerful version of you. So if your fun is out there, doing rails and hitting the bar and going out and partying, the thing is, that's not the kind of fun I'm talking about. I'm talking about the kind of fun where you're your best version of yourself in that peak state of energy. And then anything you do in your life at a peak state is much more amazing if you are in a peak state, right? Yeah. Anything you're going to do is going to be amplified 10x. That's why it's 10x more money from having more fun if you're having the right kind of fun, because that's the best version of you doing whatever you're doing. Then you ask yourself your question, what is the most important thing I should be doing? Because I only have so much time of being in peak state. So I got to really get focused on what are the absolute core essential things I need to crush. And just crushing those few things actually is enough, is what I found out. And that's how you have more the time to go have more fun, is because you had to focus, and you came with that focus with 1,000% of who you normally are in that thing. Dang, now life is easy, cool. I got a bunch more free time I got right now, so then I can go have more fun. I just repeat the cycle, and that's just what I've been doing for the last 7-8 years, and it's made a world of difference for me.
Yeah, man, I love that. That sounds awesome. And so I think we're gonna loop back around to that, but let's take a couple steps back and just let's get to know you a bit more. And so, what are some of the things you like to do for fun?
Yeah, man. So I'm an attorney entrepreneur. I built this company, Royal Legal Solutions, to help people grow their wealth. So we're helping people from anywhere that are just starting off and want to know the principles, to people that are, $50 million total net worth and worried about asset protection, their taxes, their estate planning, how do they simplify their life and investments so that way they can go have more time with their family or do what they want to do. And that was always that's my dream. That's the thing that I'm working on right now. That's my baby, my passion. Because it's helping people get to financial freedom and stay in financial freedom so they can go live amazing lives. And that's what I'm all about. I started that journey 7 years ago in law school, where I bought my first building in active business and ran that during law school to flip it to pay off my law school debt. So I was the only person in my graduating class of my law school to have zero debt coming out of there. And then, I worked my ass off as an attorney for a couple of years and was like, this is not it. This is not the environment that is conducive of me being the person I want to be. I was like, I got to get out of here. I don't know what I'm going to do next with it. But after I left, it didn't actually take very long to be able to go find people that had problems that I could solve. And the thing I knew was real estate investing. So I was like, cool, I can go in there and help people do that. And ever since then, I've just loved anything that's high activity, and outdoors, right? So I'm in southern Utah right now. We're doing canyoneering out here, 15-mile hikes. We're rappelling, 300, 400 foot rappels off of stuff. I do ice climbing during the winter time. I ride my dirt bike and side by side through the 1,000 acres of sand dunes that are in my backyard. I'll wake surf on the weekends when I'm too sore to do anything else. That's in the lake. That's right in my backyard here. off of Sand Hollow in southern Utah, right outside of Hurricane. You'd never know it was here. You never would. I happened to stumble upon it because a friend of mine happened to stumble upon it. And I moved out here when COVID hit. And since then, actually, everything in my life has just gotten a whole nother level better because I'm having way more fun out here than I was having in Austin, Texas. And so it's been the best thing that's happened to me is actually just getting the heck out of the cities and into a place where I can be in nature and having fun with friends.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's awesome, man. I'm actually not a big outdoors guy, but I also haven't tried any of those activities. So can't quite write it off yet.
If you like physical stuff, are you an athlete or like athletic things in general?
I love it. Yep.
That's it, dude. It's taking nature and then combining it with like athleticism and skill-based sports. So it's all of your fun things where you're like, oh my God, I wonder if physically I can actually do this. Like combined with like all the thinking that you have to have, because it's like, how do you actually rock climb up this thing? How am I going to get down from this ledge? Okay, I got to rope up to this tree and put this safety stuff in and lower myself down. So it's, yeah, if you're into that, dude, you love it. Come out here. You should come out here and visit me, man. I got a whole extra place. We got 14 bedrooms and 11 beds for hosting trips of people. And I'm always looking for cool people to come hang out. So I'll throw you an invite here on the show.
Awesome, man. I'll for sure have to take you up on that. Appreciate it.
Shut it out.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into your motivation. What gets you up every day and keeps you going?
I don't know exactly like what it is, right? Except for the fact that that's how I'm built. So I'm built to want to work on stuff. I want to build things. I don't know why. It's what I want to do. And when I can't build to this with like from the source of my creativity, I shut down. Like jobs don't work for me, right? I had no choice but to start my own company and figure out a way to make it work because there wasn't another system that I could plug into where I could be the human being that I wanted to be and needed to be. And the consequences otherwise are depression, right? Why is a third of the US population on antidepressants? Like maybe we should think about that of like, what is the system that they're in every day? Because you know the system you're in, I know the system I was in. I'll tell you, when you're out of that system, it's a different world. You don't need like a gun to your head to get up to go to work. You just do work because that's you. You're doing the work that matters to you. And what else is there besides the stuff that matters to you? And I balance that with like meditation, journaling, exercise, a lot of those like good things because the work is actually really stressful. So then I had to develop all these other skill sets, which is how do I take care of myself because I'm getting beat up during the day, even though it's the thing I want to go do. It's violent, it's violent in the sense that like it's stressful, right? It's violent to who we are as people. It's like, it's stressful. It's high analytics. It's, it ain't what we used to do, right? Like, what do we used to do? We used to like walk around in the trees and gather berries. Like that sounds like the best day ever, and that was our everyday. And now we're like in these other systems. It's like, no wonder it doesn't work because we were never designed to do that. So we have to develop these other systems of how do we take care of ourselves. And that's been my magic and my motivation.
I love it. I really like it because you're living in such an authentic version of yourself that it is your motivation to just keep being yourself and keep doing what you were literally built to do. A lot of people have that why stuck in their, some dissatisfaction from earlier in their life. And I love that that's not the case. It's actually the first time I've ever heard it. So I appreciate that. Awesome, man.
I'll tell you, there is a why though. And the big why is because I refuse to be anything but me. Like why is because being authentic is the most important thing. And that's my why. And so like, how do I design a life around being able to do that?
Awesome, man. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and jump into your dreams. I know you said most of them are surrounded around your company, but yeah, tell us about kind of goals for the company and goals for your life in general.
Yeah, man, I think I'm at a place right now, like a lot of people, where I'm growing through like my own curve, right, of what I want to be doing. And now I'm in a place that I really want to be helping people in areas that I have been helping them, but just not like in a formalized way with like their leadership skills, their entrepreneurial skills, their wealth management and investing skills, and to everything. And too, it's like, what are your life skills? Like your ability to like set goals, create intentions, look at like tracking progress, developing new habits, and how to like change your belief systems to be able to be more in line with things that are going to make you successful. And I'm in that place now where my goals are building out these companies. Right now, we're launching them as coaching companies, just online virtual group coaching. And they're just following like a standard kind of like coaching model. And I'm at the crux of all of these programs with expert guests and other people that work inside of Royal Legal Solutions. And so I'm at the level now where I want to grow into is how to grow those coaching companies, because that's my ability to leverage, like, here's all of the things I had to learn to be able to grow into the person I am. And I want to share this with other people, because the feedback I keep getting is that, like, I literally was talking at a training on this last weekend, and I was sitting there just talking about like just a principle of like the way we were living, like with intentionality and the purpose of that. And literally, like, somebody in the group, I was just sharing like my viewpoint on it. Somebody literally in the group like jumped out and be like, "Hey, can I buy something from you?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I was like, "I sell LLCs and stuff, but like, I don't know what you're talking about." Like, and she's like, no, I want to buy something from you. And I was like, "You mean like, do I have like a book or like a coaching program or whatever, or like a workbook?" And she's like, "Yeah, any of those. I'll take any of them. Can I buy something?" And I was like, this is the craziest thing that has ever happened. So I feel like I'm at that place where it's like everywhere I turn, like, life is hitting me with that thing. Like, you need to start sharing about, about the things that you've developed and worked on, like for yourself and through your business experience. Start sharing with that with other people. And how do you, and what's the best way to do that? Is probably through coaching programs. So I think that's my thing I'm most excited about. That's where my future is. That's where I'm looking for support from anybody I can find on how to make that successful and grow those.
Awesome, man. I love it. And so that's your one focus right now, building out those coaching companies. Is there anything else that you want to talk about in terms of dreams and goals?
Yeah, I mean, another piece that we're trying to get going here too is being able to host people out here in Utah on like a more like professional basis. So we're starting up a nonprofit called Veterans Outdoors. It's actually already fully formed. I'm sorry, it's called the Veteran Collective. It's already fully formed 501c3 entity. And we're in that process now of being able to like raise money for it, and raising money. One way we want to raise money, besides just asking for donations, is, we have the idea of like, let's host trips to put people through like stuff they can't buy anywhere else, right? So these type of like high adventure experiences that are doable, that everybody's typically physically able to do them, and do them in a safe way. And we'll bring people out here, we'll charge money for it, and then all of the profits from that, what we're going to do then is reinvest it into bringing veterans out and giving the veterans essentially nature therapy and connection while they're getting life skills coaching from me in the evenings about like all of the basic stuff that people run out and have struggle reintegrating in with society as veterans. Like, my coaching programs that I'm doing will leverage into specifically help these veterans to be able to develop those life skills that they need to reintegrate society. And overall, what we're looking to do is lower the suicide rate, right? Which, is like, we've lost more veterans from suicide than we have from the Taliban, right? So like, that's weird. Like, that shouldn't be that way. And I think that's how I'm looking to do that is, that's another area I'm looking for support and guidance on. Is I have like the pieces of the puzzle, I think, but I just haven't gotten them all together and actually like, cool, I'm ready to feel confident and inviting people out and charging money and promising that this level 10 out of a 10 experience is going to happen the way that I want it to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know. So the whole goal of this show is actually to connect people and help them out with their dreams. So I don't know if this connection would be fruitful for you, but yesterday on the show, I had a 26-year Navy SEAL who started a business to also help veterans and also help lower the suicide rate. So if you wanted me to make that connection.
Yeah, I would love that connection. Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'd love to meet him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he does it. He has a CBD business that he does to kind of help the suicide prevention thing, because it really helps him get his mind back and get his mind right.
Yeah. We actually have some of the guys out here where there's a couple of veterans that live here, just right down that are partnering here inside of this nonprofit. And one of them actually is like a Navy SEAL, like sniper. And then the other one was he was infantry, like did like all the vehicle infantry work for like frontline infantry, like while in Iraq. So there's some badass guys out here that are like absolute just, I've never felt safer in my life. Can I just say that? Yeah, I've just never felt safer in my life.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Well, I'll definitely make that connection. And yeah, that's an awesome dream and goal. Why veterans for you? What triggered that for you?
These guys that are out here, man, they're just amazing dudes, like I think there's something about like a military experience that for some people like forces them to embrace some really extreme form of authenticity of who they are, because of the nature of what they did. So it's not everybody that's been in the military, but I just keep finding that like me and veterans seem to have like a really solid connection, like over and over and over again. So yeah, so for some reason, these are like my best friends all happen to be veterans.
Awesome. Sounds good. I love it. Okay, well, what caused you to take the first step towards your dreams? Let's trace it all the way back to law school when you bought some property to pay off that debt.
I just always wanted something more, I always felt like the life that everybody had given me or told me was like available to me. Everything that I tried, none of it worked. I was still like, in hindsight, right? I was still like half depressed and still not excited about anything. So, what do you do when everything you do in life looks like it sucks?
Yeah.
You got to start taking some bold actions, man, because that's not a life that you're going to live for very long. Probably going to die of some type form of like depression, alcoholism, something in there. You're going to fall off because eventually you're going to give up. You're going to say, hey, everything just sucks. So there's no point in any of this. Miserable every day. Why would I continue on? I'll go to my doctor and either start swallowing antidepressants or have to do something radically different and have the, I don't know if it's guts either, because for me, like looking back on it, it actually is like survival. Like I was forced to have to go do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And not to be dark or anything, but I think it's just like a reality of like, why do we do what we do, right? Survival is a good motivation. I was a very motivated entrepreneur and I'm really excited that I did it because everything in my life took a solid 180 after that and just keeps going up and to the right, from having to have to make that choice. But it was difficult to finally get pushed to the place of having to make that choice.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I get that for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, if there was one type of person that you could meet right now and they could help you take the next step towards either your nonprofit or your coaching program, who would they be and how would they do it?
Yeah, so anybody that wants to get a hold of me, the best way to do that is just off of, just text me. So my number is 512-717-1710. So 512-717-1710. Just shoot me a text if you want to connect on it. I'm assuming everybody listening to the show is ballers with what they do, but I'm happy for anybody that has some information or just wants to give me some words of programs. I've already built nonprofits from like a zero phase to like a million annual revenue. The performance side of things and marketing side of those pieces and vision side of like what's going to work are things that I already have really, really strong. But what I'm missing is the integrator that can ensure that we're going to be building the right stuff at the right time and also manage the build itself.
Okay. So you cut out a little bit there, or I think my computer froze on my end.
Yeah.
So you said
it's looking for an integrator. I don't know if you're familiar with that terminology, but usually it's typically like a strong project manager, but as well that has strong project management skills among other skills. And then looking for somebody that's actually built either a coaching program from 0 to $1 million or a nonprofit to 0 to $1 million in revenue or donations into it.
Awesome. And you'd want to bring them on your team.
Yeah. I'd look to either hire them as a consultant if they want to do something part-time. If they just wanted to chat and hang out about it, that's awesome too. If they are looking to actually for a new opportunity and want to partner in that opportunity and in some form of like cash and equity into it, I'm really open to it. My dreams are actually that things get built, and I believe in being extremely generous with like everybody else that's around me, because I support and take care of the people that help me build the things that keep me alive and thriving, because that's what makes me the happiest in life, is building new things that I care about.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I love it. And so definitely, if you're listening, be on the outlook for that integrator and connect them to Scott.
Yeah, really amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What is the most important one or two things that everyday people can do to help you accomplish this nonprofit and this coaching program?
I mean, really, what I'd love actually is if anybody could come and attend. We're doing the free sessions of the coaching program now, and just come and connect at Royal Legal Solutions and pass us over your contact info with it. And then I'll put you on the marketing list for like when we're having shows. There's weekly shows coming up. And then if you come to the show and you like it and you feel like other people might benefit from it, then just please share about it on social media and into your own networks to be able to help promote the show. But first and foremost, like if you're listening to this podcast, you're already thinking like way ahead of the game of like what I've seen that makes people successful, because this is how successful people think into it. And I would just love to connect with you. So come and just connect with me, or come to the website, connect if you want to pop into the shows.
Awesome, man. I love it. I love it. And so now we're going to jump into our Thriving 3. And I ask these questions to get a sense of, how people are taking in information, the action they're taking, and how they're taking care of themselves. So for you, what is your favorite book, movie, or podcast? Pick one.
My favorite, my favorite book that I've actually been rereading right now is actually a book called Scaling Up. And I know that's a nerdy thing to love, but like it's actually blowing my mind with stuff that took me years to figure out on my own. I was like, if I would have just read this book, I would have been so much better. So anyway, that's that book.
Yeah, for sure. And who's the author of Scaling Up?
Shoot, I forget. I could Google it real quick. I'm always bad with the names of authors, just like I'm bad with the names of like actors or anything like that.
Gotcha.
It looks like Scaling Up is by Vern. Yeah, Vern Harnish.
Vern Harnish.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So what business and look processes for businesses? Nothing's better. It's amazing.
Yeah. What was your key takeaway that just blew your mind?
My key takeaway from it actually was all of the things are already figured out in business. That there's not anything. There's new frontier in how to run a business. There's new frontiers in products, right? But there's no new frontiers in business. So really, like learning business is just mechanical. And it like these are the systems. And it didn't emotionally hit me until like I read that book, because I was like halfway through discovering it all on my own. And I was like, oh, if we're all just organically discovering the same principles, businesses, structures, financial structures, HR structures, sales structures, etc., then okay, cool. Well, I'm done trying to figure it out on my own. I'm just gonna read this and do this and just take it on faith that it's good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No point in reinventing the wheel.
No. Yeah, it's just hard because you think you're smart, and then you're just like, oh, I am not nearly as smart as these guys that wrote this stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They're good. They know it. It's like, all right, cool. This is my gospel. I don't know why we're gonna do it that way, but we're gonna do it that way because Vern said so. That's why.
No, yeah, I completely get that. Books are gold. What are a couple ways you like to care for yourself?
Number one way is actually just getting outside every morning for 45 minutes. I find if I can get outside for some activity for 45 minutes a day, that's like my minimum dose of being an actual human being that I need to be okay. The other thing I really like to do is I really like to meditate and journal a lot, right? And I know that's like not even like a super woo-woo way, right? But like literally, if you just sit with your eyes closed, right, and just breathe, then all of a sudden, like whatever you need to be thinking of, you start thinking of, right? And so like you can just sit there and just be intentional about like being still, calm, quieting the thoughts in your mind. And I have no idea why this works. But then if I start writing about whatever thing that I'm trying to think about, that whatever the answer is will just like come out of the pen. Like I'm not even thinking my way through it. I'm just like, oh, it's like that. I wasn't seeing it that way before. Because all the things that we're frustrated, my belief anyways, all the things we're frustrated thinking about is because we're trying to force our mind to get to the answer. When all we really got to do is chill, let it work, and then it'll just like come out. And for some reason, it comes out easier with a pen. I think because it forces you to slow down your thinking, because you have to slow down when you're actually physically writing. And so physically, it makes your brain actually slow down. And when your brain slows down, then it can finally get out because you've lowered the chatter.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What got you started on meditating and journaling? I know you talked a little bit about, your business being really stressful, but what led you to it?
Well, the business being stressful is a really good reason to do it. Another really good reason to do it is because if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, your brain is actually trained to look for everything possible that's wrong and that could be better. Because that's how you flag issues to make improvements. But unfortunately, it also makes you an extremely miserable person at the same time, because you don't just do it at work, you do it everywhere, right? So journaling also is like intentional about like what went great today, that thing that you're worried about, what's the probable worst outcome instead of the absolute worst outcome? What would you do to recover if that did happen? So like force you to slide down. But I actually don't know why I picked it up. I think I picked it up because enough really smart rich guys told me to. And when really smart rich people tell me to do something, I'll do it. Dumb rich people, I'm like, you idiot, you're just rich. Being rich isn't hard. Being rich is easy. But if you had to work at it to make it all on your own, I'm like, all right, cool. You're a dude that gets it because you learned the school of hard knocks to get where you're at. So you earned that. You earned everything you got. So I'm going to listen to what you have to say because I'm having to earn mine too, because ain't nobody trying to rich marry this face. I try to marry a rich woman and she's like, nah, you're 3 points too low, bro.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's also, I know you just kind of slid past that, but it's wise advice. If smart rich people tell you to do something, it's probably a good idea to listen.
I'll listen. Yeah, for sure. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What is one action step you can take right now or continue to take right now, to continue to scale your coaching business and take the nonprofit to the next level?
What I really need to do is I feel like I really need to start reaching out for more mentorship in the area. And honestly, I feel like I've been just hesitant to it because I'm am I really ready? I'm so good at all these other areas of my life. And this one, I'm just kind of a little, for some reason, I'm just a little bit off of jumping into the deep end on it. I'm really getting serious about, okay, cool. Let's really put all the energy into it. I've been playing a little safe. So that would probably be the thing I would really need to do is actually just start reaching out to people. And just like I did here on this show, right? It's I just need to start putting it out there that hey, I'm looking for partners and mentors about how to grow this thing. And just seeing what kind of conversations I can have with people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love it. And we'll hold you accountable to doing it.
Heck yeah, bud.
Awesome, man. Is there anything else you want to chat about before we sign off?
No, I think that's really the most important things. If I'd love it to have everybody come and join me on my coaching programs from royallegalsolutions.com. To do that, there's actually the link for that. I think we can put that in the show notes. It's going to be rlspod.com/LTD. That's rlspod.com/LTD. And then from there, you'll be able to connect to all of our shows. You can see what shows we got coming up and getting in on that, all that fun over there.
Was that LTV or LTD?
I think it's LTD. I'm gonna, it's LTD. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Cool.
That'll definitely be in the show notes. And awesome. Well, I think that's a great note to end on. If you were listening to this show and you liked what Scott had to say, you liked his dreams, you felt like you could help him out, make the contact with him. If you know an integrator, make sure you guys make that connection. Let's help Scott out in the best way that we know how. Also, Scott, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I had a great time. Thank you so much. And thanks to everybody for reaching out. I look forward to just having a great conversation with you and learning more about you and what you have going on in life and see if there's ways I can help you. And of course, the kind of help I'm asking for here. And I just want to say thank you in advance for doing that.
Yeah, Absolutely. And if you were listening, feel free to go on Apple, Spotify, subscribe. And the thing we really ask that you do is share this podcast with one person who you think needs the message and who needs to meet Scott. Because Scott's the type of guy that'll change your life. And we all know that we need a little bit of Scott in our life. So on that note, thank you guys so much. We're out.